Hey, Wise Dragon. Big K, that's not how you spell tanks. Well, yeah, it's not, but that's how the 3DO company spelt it for this game, so why not? I always love the story of this game. It's just so ridiculous, but at the same time, it's just so awesome. It's just like one of those really trashy 80s action movies. And I love how even then there's BattleTanx graffitied on the walls, yet the actual BattleTanks have really only just started sort of taking over. Yeah, good to hear about your hay fever, Wise Dragon. I think I forgot to mention last time, you probably know it already, but if you get a locally produced honey, so not some sort of store-bought honey, but if you've got somewhere local to you that actually makes honey within, a couple of miles away you live, if you just have a spoonful of that in a tea, or just have a spoonful of it, I don't know, in your cereal, or just eat it about once a day when it starts getting bad, you'll start to build up an immunity to the effects of the pollen. So every pollen's slightly different depending on where you live, but that's one thing that I do in the summer. Dark Hawk Legend, good to see you. Jose Patton, yeah, this game is funny. It's pretty cool. It's one of those games you can just sort of switch off, and well, for the first half of the game anyway, it's fairly straightforward. It's really just harvesting levels, but some of the later levels do get a bit more trickier, but we'll see how far we get on. I'm not too sure how long I'll be streaming for, probably an hour or two, so potentially if everything goes well, there's maybe enough just to do a start to finish stream of the entire game, but we'll see. I haven't played this now in fact since I did my review, so it must be about 3 or 4 years ago, so I'll be a little bit rusty on it. I'm playing with the control set to arcade, so it's the standard controls, it's just that it lets you use the R button to strafe if need be, but Glenn Walsh, good name. I think the storylines of this game is pretty much like a real throwback to, some of the 16-bit era games where, they didn't have a lot of room for, developing a big story. So it's kind of a throwback to that era. So that's one thing that I've always kind of liked about it. Zavi, good to see you. Thanks for tuning in, wherever in the world you are. I'd guess from your name it's maybe a Latin or a Spanish-speaking country. I get quite a few viewers in Mexico and South America. Brazil's one of my biggest countries for viewing. Retro View, yeah, I'll be doing Hercules and Blues Brothers eventually at some point this year. I'm in no rush to get around to playing either of those, to be honest, because they're a bit of a chore to play. But yeah, in terms of next compilations, I've got a big long list of different themes that I want to work the way through. So I'll be starting one to go live tomorrow. So usual time, 7:30 PM GMT. I have another video going live tomorrow for the weekend. Alejandro, thank you very much. Neil Hirsch, do I like the band Guar? Not really. I don't really listen to them much, so I don't really have a big opinion on those. Dark Hawk Legend from LA. Big time zone difference. Zavi, yeah, Ecuador. I've not looked into how many viewers I get from Ecuador, but as I said, yeah, I do get quite a lot of South American viewers. Obviously, Brazil's, I think, my biggest South American country. So hang on. Hang on, I just need to change the... Okay, I just need to change the controls because that's not the style that I like. So let me just quickly change that up. Do I like the 1987 movie RoboCop? Yeah, I remember watching it when I was in school, so When that came out, or I was born in 84, so probably when I was 5 years old, so it would have been 1989 or 1980, or yeah, 89 or 90. So I was maybe 5 or 6 when I saw it. Yeah, I remember me and my friends, we used to love it. All the action figures and the toys. Really cool. So I've just skipped that just so I can make sure I've got the controls how I want it, because otherwise, yeah, here we go. So for anyone who's sort of new to the game, it starts off relatively easy. It's not a terribly difficult game. But what you want to try to do is to farm for as much, by destroying as many buildings. You can farm for points. Points give you lives, so it's a good way to sort of build up, because although the first few levels are relatively easy, later on you do really need to basically have some lives in stock. This game's set in I don't know whether you're asking if it's set in Australia as a joke, because everything's all destructed. But if you missed the intro, this is a sort of an apocalyptic USA. So the storyline, you're basically traveling across North America to rescue your girlfriend who you want to marry. Along the way, as you'll see, you do some pretty cool things. You go... in terms of levels, they're a bit of a mix. So you get some levels like this, where you're in sort of I'd almost class this a bit like an arena battle, because you have a set area. There'll be some objectives that you'll need to take down. Normally you're sort of capturing other gangs, queens, and that's women queens, not, you know, sort of campy blokes. But it's an interesting game. It's the storyline's pure trash, but it's just funny. Oh, is it available to buy in Australia? Yeah, I believe well, there's PAL versions of BattleTanx. So if not, probably the easiest thing to do for many people is just buy an EverDrive, put the files on there, and then there you go. Makes things a lot easier. So I don't want to take down the final tank yet. So in this particular level, the objective is really simple. You've just got to kill 5 tanks. But like I said, this you want to be farming. So points, anything you can do to get points, because it's the extra lives that you're going to need later on. That basically going to make things a lot easier. And that's one of the cool things about this. Pretty much most of the buildings are destructible. So there's a lot you can just take down. And as you progress as well, as you get later on in the game, you'll see there's cool power-ups and stuff too. Yeah, I think the PAL release was the sequel. So the sequel's a bit more in-depth. It's still a trashy game. It's, you know, but it's just got more options basically. Because this was when this came out, this was a bit of a sleeper hit. Coming from the 3DO company, I don't think they even themselves expected it to be all that popular. And it actually went on to be, you know, have some really cool TV commercials. So that's why, no surprise, we got a sequel. So let's just round up this level. I've got pretty much everything that I need from here. Will Rare ever return to their glory? I doubt it. It's a different company. Obviously, a lot of the staff from back in our day, they've all left now. So it's probably not something that I'd expect to see. A lot of people, though, really like Sea of Thieves. And I think Rare are making the new Battletoads, which comes out this year. So we'll have to wait and see. Okay, so now we're on to, this is the second stage. So the levels themselves fall into a couple of different categories. So The last type of level that we were on before was a bit of a deathmatch style level. So the aim is really just to kill all of the other tanks. Now you get some other levels such as this style, where you're basically on a bridge, and these bridges, they link the different parts of America where you'll be going to. And really, these are a bit of a gauntlet, so you've just got to really sort of make it to the end. That's the sort of primary objective. But again, what you want to be doing on these levels, especially early on, is you want to be farming. So you want to be collecting as much as you can. And those barrels, they come in handy because they obviously take out a larger section, so they're pretty useful to have. And again, any opportunity that you have to collect bonuses, you want to go ahead and do that. And you want to be quick as well, so I wasn't quick there. So when you kill an enemy, it leaves a star, which again gives you like a kill bonus. So you want to be collecting those where possible, because that really helps to sort of rack your score up. There you go. So this is not going to be a sort of a speed run or anything like that. This is a really casual play. It's been, like I said, years since I last played this, but it's a real fun game. It's easy just to kick back and watch. And also, because it's fairly straightforward, especially the first half of the game, it just means that I can read the chat as I'm playing as well. Because a lot of the time it can be quite difficult. Yeah, so the tank's got crumple zones as well, so you'll see as I pick up damage throughout the game, the tank will start to get crushed a little. Okay, and you've also got as well special weapons, so as you can see there, you've got the standard ones, but also you've got the special weapons, and they come in real handy. Yeah, I do quite a few live streams. Sometimes, depending on what game it is and sort of how it goes, sometimes I do make them available for sort of viewing afterwards. Not always, but a lot of it depends on the game and, like I said, how it's gone. So, yeah, this is a bit like Mad Max. Same sort of trashy, no-nonsense storyline. It's easy to understand. At this level I'm pretty much done, but like I said, I'm just going through now just to make sure I'm racking up points and collecting everything along the way. Does anyone remember, again, this is maybe showing my age, but I had a Panasonic 3DO way back when it came out, and there was a game on there which was Return Fire. It was available on other systems as well, I believe, but it was a pretty cool game. I always really enjoyed Return Fire. If this was to be remade, which company would I want to make it? It's a really good question. I guess one of the things now is because it's such an arcade-like game, it's really hard to think, because a lot of developers just go for quite sort of serious games these days. So it's really hard to say. I couldn't actually think of a developer who would really be interested in making it, because it's such a basic game. It's you know, there's no depth to it. It would never, these days, it would hardly sell. So it's really a tricky one. Yeah, From Software, that's maybe a good shout. Yeah, I could see that. Okay, so this is level 3. We're back to, this one's one of these sort of arena ones, but this time we've got 15 tanks to destroy. And again, this one you need to have a little bit of a balance on, because what you want to do is you want to take out some tanks quickly, such as that one. But at the same time, you also want to be doing some destruction. As well as harvesting things like that. As well as collecting the stars as well, because those stars are going to get me the points that I need to have a good shot at this. Yeah, it's one of those games, I think, you know, some games, yeah, are prime for a remake, but this one I think's pretty much a game of its time. You know, there's no depth. I don't really think there's much of a market, apart from the nostalgia group. You know, people looking for throwbacks to games that they used to have as kids and stuff, but these days it's got everything. I mean, you can go back and play this. It's really easy to play. It's, you know, one of those games you can just pick up and enjoy. Slushy Deluxe, thanks for tuning in on your day off. Really appreciate the support, as always. Yeah, see, it's one of those things, you know, I'm not one of those people that's, you know, really against modern games and I trash on them all, but there's just very few that these days really sort of grip my attention. Okay, so those wondering what I'm doing now, so because there's only one other tank, so if you look on the radar, you'll see there's only one other tank for me to destroy. So basically what I'm doing now is I'm just destroying buildings, just picking up bonus points, finding anything that's going to sort of help me later on in the game to build up my stock of lives. Because if I remember correctly, I think after this there's bonus levels, and they're really the ones that I'm going to need to sort of progress and do well, really. Because some of the levels do get a lot trickier. It's not always as straightforward. Yeah, this is one of those games you just wish that it would have like an online multiplayer. So the sequel, BattleTanx Global Assault, did a really good job of having an awesome multiplayer. So it's one of those cool multiplayer games that a lot of people maybe overlooked or forgotten about, but it was really cool. Yeah, this game has a multiplayer mode, yeah. But I think in terms of features for the multiplayer, the sequel's got better options. So yeah, the sequel, Global Assault. Mr. JR0986, thanks for tuning in, good to see you too. Okay, so this is the Stranglehold Bridge. This is another one of the bridge levels, but now you'll see these start to get progressively tougher now. The first thing that I want to try and do is find the radar. Which is there. Okay, so the radar basically, like the name suggests, it shows you what's around. So you can see that, for example, there's a guy coming. And the radar is really important because it helps you to strategize. And it may not seem like there's a game, it's a game that requires a lot of strategy, but when you actually when it comes to it, there's a bit more than you think. So just making sure, yeah, so I've got everything just there. Yeah, this is a game a lot of people have a lot of nostalgia for. Okay, so that wasn't the smartest move. So this one I'm just playing it a little bit, probably too gung-ho to be honest. Because what you really need to be doing is taking your time just to make sure you're picking up everything you're going to need along the way. Because this one's, I think this is, if I remember correctly, this is the first one with a Goliath at the end, so you've got a big tank to take down. TFX Winston, have I streamed any Turok games? I have. I streamed the remaster of Turok 2. That was, I think I finished the entire playthrough of that. These streams live though, if you just go to my channel, if you do want to watch it, you can just go back and search. If you go to do a search on my channel, that's one that I've got a live stream version recorded, saved, so you can always go back to that one. So if you want to get rid of those mines, you need to use the grenades. So I'll just show you that one, because that was an extra tank, which is going to come in useful. You want to be in sort of double figures. C Pro Racing, get a Greg's on you. Thank you very much. To be honest, it's I don't want to sound like a Daniel Bryan character, but for this month I've gone vegetarian, so maybe I'll use that to buy one of their new vegan sausage rolls. So we'll see. Maybe that's something for a live stream. But again, C Pro Racing, thanks for the £2 sterling super chat. Okay, so if you look ahead, you'll see that there's one pivoting just there. So let me just clear this guy first. Okay, let me get myself barricaded here. Yeah, to be honest, the vegan sausage roll actually sounds a little bit interesting. Because the nearest Greg's, well, I suppose like everyone, the nearest Greg's to me is like, it's like a 5-minute drive away. It's not far at all. But, hang on, so let me just get this health. So yeah, so the nearest Greg's to me is like a couple of minutes away. So, like I said, maybe I'll try one of those. But from what I heard, the day that they sort of went live, they were like out of stock like everywhere. Like someone was telling me like they went there and there was people queuing outside. I guess there's a lot of people who wanted to put it on like Instagram, and I suppose a lot of the YouTube food reviewers as well wanted to get their hands on it. Okay, so my tactic for these is always the same, basically. There we go. So with the Goliaths, if you because they're on rails, if you sort of go side onto them, it blocks them being able to move, and then you can just blast away. So that's generally how I tend to take out Goliaths. I know some people have got different tactics. Some people will just use the guided missiles and take them from distance. So that's another point as well. You build up your army as the game goes on. So you'll see there when I start the next level, I'll have 6 tanks in my army. So definitely. Okay, so this is one of the bonus levels. Which I personally don't like all that much, the bonus levels, but C Pro Racing is out to get a coffee to go with the vegan sausage roll. Get one with the tea. I'm more of a coffee drinker myself, but my wife's a big tea drinker. So. Gotcha. So these levels, yeah, they're pretty much like an on-rail shooter in a way. Yeah, iced coffee is really nice. Yeah, I like a lot of iced drinks, to be honest. I do prefer cold drinks, but it's quite cold here in Leeds, so especially today. I think we got snow forecast for the weekend, so I'll come back to that guy. Ah, got taken down. So that was like a bit of a bonus level. Yeah, CPro Racing Dewsbury is obviously just down the road, so yeah, not far at all. Wise Dragon, can you get Twinkies in the UK? So they're not. We don't have any UK made ones, but you can buy them. But the prices, there's a couple of American candy stores. Generally they open and then close really quickly because they just go bust because the prices they charge are insane. I think I saw a box of Lucky Charms cereal which was like £5 sterling. So crazy prices. Retro View, an Englishman who prefers coffee over tea. Yeah, I'm one of them. Mark Carson Jr. Is this Ultra HD? No, it's not Ultra HD. It's the N64 has the Ultra HDMI mod. So this is basically a straight HD output direct from the N64 console. Kaito Link 64. Do I think it's worth owning both Castlevania games on the N64, or is Legacy of Darkness the only one you need? If you're only buying one, get Legacy of Darkness. That's what I would say. It's a bigger game. There's more to do in it. So yeah, if you're only getting one, just get Legacy of Darkness. Yeah, CPro Racing. If you go to the there's the Tesco in Roundhay in Leeds. They've got quite a big American food section, but yeah, the prices are crazy. I think I saw like £7 for some Reese's, spread, the pots you get to put on toast or cakes or whatever. Crazy, absolutely crazy. Okay, so this level we're breaking through the Psycho Brigade's defenses. So this is the first level where you start having to rescue, where you're having to start rescuing the other clans, princesses or the women. So yeah, so this level we're basically storming another clan or gang's base, and we're going to steal their queen and take her back to our base. So a bit of female kidnapping, but it's called a rescue in the game. Mr. JR 0986, the HD adapter. It's not an adapter, it's a mod. Best thing to do is if you're interested in the Ultra HDMI mod, if you go to My Life in Gaming and just search for N64, amongst all their videos they do have a really detailed view or review. They go through all the settings, so that's probably the best place. If you want to find out more about the Ultra HDMI, I always say to people, look, everything that you could want to know about it, My Life in Gaming have got in their videos, so that's the best place to go look. So this level's a little bit interesting because you'll see as we get up here, there is absolutely tons of enemies. So this is probably the first level I'll maybe lose a life or so on, but we'll see. And there's tons of mines as well, which doesn't really help. This is one of the levels where like a couple of good pot shots really helps, because you don't want to be going toe to toe because there are huge gangs. There's a lot of enemies on this level. So let's pick up the radar so we can see where everybody is. So yeah, this is a little bit of tactics. There's quite a few static enemies on this one. Patrick, have I tried Turok Remastered on Xbox? Yeah, I've streamed it as well. So yeah, really cool. I really liked it. I think Night Dive Studios, they do good jobs with the games that they put out. I just like to personally see them get more IPs to work with. Okay, so now this is a problem. So, because I wasn't paying attention, I'm actually all out of ammo. So I'm going to have to just literally use special weapons and hope that we get some regens. Which, from my game settings, should be no problem. So let me just go grab some more ammo. Yeah, it gets... Are these not respawning yet? Okay, this is probably a tricky point. So I'm going to have to make a dash to try and grab some ammo. And if I remember correctly... So that's given me a couple that I needed. Yeah, Night Dive do... Yeah, so going back to what we were saying about Night Dive Studios. Yeah, I really like the work that they do. I'd like to see them get some more IPs to work with, especially from the N64 era. It's a shame that the first one that they got was Shadow Man, which they just did a straight port of it, which was a bit of a shame really, because I would have liked to have seen them do some more work on it, to be honest, before releasing that one. Because yeah, that's one of the things with the Turok 2 remaster. They actually did quite a bit of work, which was really cool, and it made the game a lot more playable, especially for people to sort of first get into. Okay, so let me just... Okay, that's not exactly how I wanted that to have gone, but the bonus points were just about reachable without detonating, so that was kind of helpful. But of course now I've got plenty of ammo as well. If I could do a video with David Wise and Grant Kirkhope, if I could do a video with those, what I would do is I'd get my guitar out and I'd just jam with them. I think that would be a really cool thing to do. Because the thing is, like, you know, whenever they do interviews, a lot of the time, you know, they're just talking about the games and their experience. But yeah, just being able to play with them would be pretty cool. So I'm saving up. I want to get a new PRS guitar, so that's one thing that I want to buy. So maybe in the next couple of months when I can afford one. I'm not after you know, one of the really high-end PRS. I'm after like a custom shot PRS, but something like even like a standard 24 would be really cool to get. Yeah, I'm not great on guitar, so yeah, don't expect me to be, you know, sort of shredding with them, but yeah, I can play some. So I'm just going to take some pot shots, see if I can take these guys down from here. Yeah, that looks like it's hitting, but I can't tell. Do I like Muse? Muse are probably a little bit, I suppose, around the era when I was a teenager. They were around. Bands that I like, Smashing Pumpkins I really like. I think Billy Corgan's really underrated. Yeah, obviously he hasn't got the greatest singing voice, it's very unique. But in terms of his abilities, yeah, Billy Corgan's really cool. Police, I like the Police, big fan of the Police. The Cars, another one of my favourite bands. So yeah, I like a big sort of wide mix. Metallica, you know, standard. I think everyone likes Metallica. It's hard not to like them. So again, I'm just doing a little bit of farming for sort of items and equipment. Ooh, that was a big hit. So what I'm going to do is I just want to... okay, I thought I had some grenades because I don't think it's worth... I could try. There we go. As you can see, that's one of the things with this. They really encourage taking down buildings in this one. Yeah, Zabi. Yeah, Police are really cool. One of my favourite bands, definitely. It's one of the strange things as well, because when I was younger, Sting was one of the musicians I absolutely hated. But then I think the more I sort of got older, the more I could appreciate. Literally, he can play like a ridiculous amount of instruments. So yeah, always a lot of respect. Got to get them bonus points. Do I like Dragon Ball? No. I couldn't tell you more than a couple of things about Dragon Ball. I used to work with a guy who was really into it. But yeah, for me personally, it's the same with Pokemon. I think by that point, I don't know, I was a little bit older. So Yeah, it's one of those tough ones. My brother was more into Pokemon than I was. I mean, I had some cards and stuff, but I wouldn't say like I was a big Pokemon fan. Ah, okay. So yeah, that's the first life lost, but we're doing okay for lives, and I got quite a few bonus points on this. So we've only got the Goliath left to take down on this level as well, so let's get this level wrapped up. Is there any anime that I enjoy? To be honest, I mostly prefer like Studio Ghibli films. It's like Howl's Moving Castle is really cool. Really, really cool movie. That's probably my favourite by the studio. So again, I'm just going to be doing some quick farming, just for... Oh, didn't want to do that. Ah, that was a mistake. Will I ever dress up as Goldust again? I have no idea what you're talking about. My friend Glendust may come back to the channel one day, but we'll have to see. Okay, so although there's some more points and stuff on this level, I'm just going to get it wrapped up because there's not really enough to justify spending a whole lot more time. Okay, so you got the star. So you can see there that there's an icon. So that's essentially, that represents their queen. So now we've got her, she's rescued. So in some of the later levels, you've got to basically take them back to your base, and that's when things become a bit more tactical. As you can see here, so we're on Lakeshore Drive, we've got to rescue one Queenlord. So you can see there, this is our own base, so we want to make sure that's well protected. And at the same time, do some harvesting for some points and ammo. So a lot of the benefits in this is to harvest things. Oh, don't do that. Is to harvest as much as possible, but also it's in a way it's clearing the route as well, because the less buildings you've got in your way, it makes it quicker to basically escape with the queen once you've rescued her. So no, there weren't any hunting as such games on the N64. That's one of the benefits as well, is obviously racking up all of the health and points and stuff. Yeah, no sleep till Brooklyn. Yeah, I think most of us are, well, even looking at my channel stats, a lot of the people that watch the channel are in their 30s, so yeah, myself, 34. Yeah, so that's the sort of key demo for my channel, so most people are around the same sort of age. I always find it funny because I do get quite a few viewers from people who are like retired, who are like 60 odd plus, which I always find funny. But yeah, I guess, you know, Nintendo 64 appealed to quite a lot of people, so. Yeah, so the story of this one is exactly that. So there's been a chemical or a pharmaceutical, like a biohazard basically, and it's led to pretty much all of the women. So I think the game says there's about 50 women for every man. Sorry, 50 men for every woman, or something crazy like that. Anyway, so yeah, that's why the women are the prized possessions in the game. So that's probably one of the other reasons why this is not a game that you'd see these days. Because I'm sure someone would take offense to the objectification of women in the game, but hell, it came out in the 90s, so that's kind of what the game's about. Yeah, I'll probably stream the second one, maybe not today. I'll see how we get on with this one, to be honest. Yeah, this game is real fun in multiplayer, definitely. Okay, so I'm going to leave that one for now. Yeah, this game will run easy on a shield, definitely. So if you are into your emulators, then yeah, this game will have no problems running at all. Okay, so that warning that's popped up on screen saying Goliath under attack, that's basically saying that my base is under attack, so. So now I'm just going to clear out some more buildings, and then I can go grab everything that I need to. Detective Lizard, good to see you. Thanks for tuning in and taking time out of your day to come watch our silly stream of retro N64 games that not many people care about, but you're around people that do enjoy this game, so again, thanks for taking time out of your day to tune in. So I just missed picking up that star. Okay, so this is basically, so the area where we're going to now is like the enemy base. So that's why I'm just taking my time to make sure I've cleared everything, because as soon as we've done it, then I'm going to be making a dash. So I'm going to see if I can approach this one from the other end. Do I have any No Mercy mods? I've seen some really, really cool ones. I've seen one which is like an ECW mod. So it's literally just got all the original ECW arena and everything in there, which was pretty cool. I've seen the Legends one, which is just basically like a throwback. So it's got, you know, the proper old school Macho Man. So yeah, there's some really cool No Mercy mods. Maybe I'll do a video on those one day. But then none of them run on the original N64 hardware, which is a pain, because if somebody could make a really good mod that ran on the hardware, that would be awesome. But for anyone that's into emulators, yeah, there's some really cool No Mercy mods.
Fortress under attack.
Yeah, it's weird. There wasn't really a BattleTanx that I'd recommend over another one, because each in their own right, they're all, you know, pretty cool. Okay, so that didn't quite give me the explosion that I was hoping for. Let me see if I can just squeeze through, which I doubt. Okay, okay. Just having to concentrate on this part, because if one of these goes off, it probably is going to take a huge amount off me. Okay. So I kind of got lucky there, just clipped the last one. So this is the base. I need to go back around to get to the base, and then this level should be done. I've pretty much cleared the path already. And it looks like my base is pretty much covered enough as well. So let's just get a quick health, just to make sure. Yeah, this is like a total throwback to 99. Okay, so there's a couple of guys here that I need to take out. Let me quickly get that guy, because he looks like he's just going to head to my base. And grab the star. Okay. There's not a cockpit view, but you can control the turret separately. So there's different control methods. This is the sort of standard arcade, if you want to call it that. Okay, so oh, really? I can't believe that got me. Crazy. The easy part is that there's only one life and I'll be able to pick up some more, but yeah, now this is straightforward. There's pretty much no health left on the Goliath, so... I didn't really have a preferred faction in the multiplayer. I was kind of just a very casual player of this. Yeah, this is one of the games that as a teenager, it was just awesome to play as. It's one of those. It's just so much fun. It's, you know, there's no overly complicated controls. It's, you know, just an easy pick up play, blow stuff up as you go. Some fairly straightforward missions, a little bit of challenge, especially in the later levels, but apart from that, it's just a really fun game to play. Yeah, Kaito Link 64, when they had the big wrestling license shuffle, it was just a shame that ECW was picked up by Acclaim, because that's one that I would really have liked to have seen a proper Aki wrestling game. Okay, so that's the radar that I needed. So yeah, one of the first things, whenever you play any level on this, you want to try and get the radar like ASAP. As well as clearing the way around your Goliath. I always find that's a pretty good tactic. Because then that way they've got a good sort of field of vision. So it definitely helps. So yeah, that's why all of these buildings around here, just get those blasted. I didn't see that one there. So that's one of the only, I suppose, the only sort of little problems with this one is that's because the graphics are quite blocky. Sometimes, well, I suppose there's a lot of grey used as well, but a lot of it can be sometimes tricky to see if there's an enemy, because in a lot of the buildings there can be sort of enemies hidden or tucked away. Yeah, this is one of the, I mean, apart from maybe what, Blast Core? Thinking of games where you can literally just demolish everything, like the entire cities. There's not all that many of them. There you go, that was a big, nice little win. Yeah, I suppose you could technically say this, yeah, it's a little bit like a primitive battlefield, but it's just using tanks, which are really fun to handle. Electron Kaleidoscope. I've already covered a couple of the sort of, if you look at my N64 beta project series, so again there's a link to, on my main page, there's a link to the, I suppose the playlist. But Yeah, I do cover a lot of the unreleased, you know, sort of prototypes, hacks, mods. So I have covered some before, like Petrie's Challenge, the Ocarina of Time mod. So oh yeah, let me just clear that. So just my Goliath has got a bigger field of view.
Fortress under attack.
Cheers, Goliath. This is quite a lot of fire, but I can't. Oh, there we go. There's one. Boom. Take it. Robocop didn't traumatize me for that sense, but the part where the guy gets shot in between his legs, that was always a part when I was a kid that used to make me wince. I should have looked at the map. Okay, let's just do some guided. I think there's one more.
Fortress under attack. Queenlord rescued.
Yeah, so there's different enemies. So the different coloured enemies that are attacking me, they're different gangs. So this particular level has got two different gangs that I need to get their queens. So I'm just going to go drop this queen back off at the base just whilst I've got her. I'm not too sure if the chat's disappearing if you close it. I think that's kind of that's a YouTube thing. It's not something that I've got any control over, unfortunately. But then again, YouTube, they are making a ton of changes at the moment, so I don't know, maybe that's one of the things that they're looking into. Ah, I just missed it. Yeah, the new YouTube, they you know what they're like. They make some changes, some work, some don't. Then everyone complains, and then they change things back, and it's just kind of the way that they are, I guess. Okay, so my Goliath is on the major attack constantly. So the next queen I need is down this way. So let's just go get the second queen. Yeah, BattleTanx was a bit of a random choice today. I can't remember why, just for whatever reason I started thinking about it. And then I thought, yeah, you know what, I've not played it in years. I can probably do a full playthrough in about, what, an hour or two, well, 2 hours minimum I think for this game, but I've got a couple of hours spare, so I thought, yeah, why not, let's play some BattleTanx, see how we can get on with it. As I said, a little bit rusty on it still because it's been a while since I played it, but definitely a fun game. So, and it's one a lot of people always message me about. So, oh, how did it get blown up? Really? I think it's because I dropped the mines by mistake, to be honest, so that was my bad. I don't actually think I was taken down by an enemy there. That's the one I was looking for. Couldn't see him a minute ago. Yeah, these red ones give me a bit of a pasting. So let me just get on my way to collect the last queen. There we go. I have chasing perspective. How I played Battalion Wars on the GameCube, I possibly have done, but it's not a game that I've got sort of any recollection of, so I'm not entirely sure, to be honest. Wise Dragon. I think the name Aussie Jinjo kind of gives it away that he would be Australian. But yeah, this game, the game's plot is wacky. So you can actually get off the rails, but it's much easier, I think, just to do this. Kaito Link 64. If you think I should do the cruising series, I've already done all 3 of them. So if you go to my channel, just search Cruising USA or Cruising World or Cruising Exotica, and you'll see there's full playthroughs of all of those when I live stream those previously in the past. So yeah, if you want to see those games, they're already been done. So definitely check those out. Labumba Life. Lamum. I'm trying to pronounce that. Whilst, give me 1 second. Let me just take this guy down. So, Lamumba Life. Thank you for the $2 super chat donation. My favourite superhero game of all time. I still want to try the new Spider-Man one because, although, you know, I suppose some people now say it got quite repetitive, but at the same time, to me, that looks really cool. So eventually I'd like to get that maybe on the PS4 when funds permit, because that looks like a fun game. I think now as well it's being discounted already, so I think it's only about £30 or something like that to pick it up brand new. Apart from that, I really liked the first Batman one that was on the Xbox. So was that Arkham Asylum? I really like that. I remember am I going to do this? It got me. Yeah, so I think Arkham Asylum is probably my favourite superhero game. So Arkham Asylum was a lot of fun. I remember picking it up. I was working Monday to Friday at the time, and I picked it up during my lunch break. And because I had nothing to do that weekend, I literally played it. 100% completed the game that weekend, and yeah, that was my experience with it. Really enjoyed that one. Mr. JR0986, you're minus 24. Where in the world are you? The coldest I've ever been in was about minus 20. That was when I was in Latvia. It also got to about minus 20 when I was in Bulgaria one winter as well. So probably minus 20 is the coldest I've ever had. But yeah, JR0986, let me know where in the world you are, because if it's minus 24 Celsius as well, that's crazy. Brock 2, did this one have bots in multiplayer to battle against, or was that only Global Assault? I'm not 100% off the top of my head, but I do think this one's got bots as well, so I think you have got both options there. But I'm not 100%, so maybe somebody in the chat will confirm whether or not this one had bots in multiplayer. Oh, JR, you're Canadian. Yeah, that would make sense. See, if it was that cold for me, I'd be out skiing. So this is the Armageddon highway level. So we've got to get across the highway. So this is another one of those highway levels, which this is probably, I think this, in my opinion, this is probably the hardest one. This one's a pretty tough level, so I might need to concentrate a little bit more on this one. I've got 12 lives, which is a decent amount. Ah, damn it. That's the problem with the AI. The guys that are supposed to help you, some of them can be a real big hindrance. Okay, I didn't see that guy. Yeah, this is a tough level. This one you've got to sort of take tactically. Have I played Omega Boost on the PS1? You know what? That's something I don't think I have. I think I've told the story before though that I did have a PlayStation 1 at the same time as having my N64. So I had a chipped PS1 like everybody did, I guess, back then. And I had probably about 500 games on CD, so I had a huge collection. Because we, you know, back in those days, we actually had a CD burner, so we used to rent games or borrow them and just make copies of them. So I had a big collection, but that's one of the problems, I think, because I had so many games on the PlayStation 1. I didn't really spend a huge amount of time with each game. Like, as soon as I'd get bored of it, that would be it, because I know I'd have so many other games to play. So that's kind of how I don't have as much, I wouldn't say appreciation, because yeah, I know it's still a really good console, but I don't have as much memories of PlayStation 1 games in comparison to the Nintendo 64, which, although I had a lot of Nintendo 64 games, that was because I traded them so often. Do I think the Ocarina of Time is overrated? Definitely not. In my opinion, it's still the best game ever made, but I guess that's because it's my personal taste. Oh, I didn't realise, but I was using my bloody missile, bloody health. I don't remember there being a screenshot of Metroid on the N64. I remember there was definitely talk of it. There was a huge amount of talk about it, because it's one of those games that like everyone was just really waiting for them to announce, but it just never happened, which was a shame really, because it's such a... If they did it in 2D, that would have been really cool. Like a 2D Metroidvania. But I suppose for 3D we had Shadow Man, so... Ow. As you can see here, the amount of hits that I'm picking up is quite high, so I need to get away from this one quickly. I don't have a great deal of weapons, so I need to try and do a bit of farming for some gear, because at the moment I'm running a little bit low. Yeah, Final Fantasy VII is maybe one of the exceptions. I've got quite a good memory of playing that, because I guess because of how good the story was. So yeah, I really enjoyed that. So yeah, so like a lot of people, I suppose Final Fantasy has a special place. I think I played Deus Ex on the PC. way back. Again, my PC games that I used to play were a lot different to console-based ones, so hang on. So yeah, so on PC, that's when I used to prefer things like strategy games. So I used to play a lot of Age of Empires, Blade Runner. Blade Runner is one of my favourite games of all time. So did anyone else play Blade Runner, the point-and-click adventure game? That was such a cool game. Way ahead of its time, but... So I'm just playing this with a little bit of caution because ideally I don't want to lose a life because I like going into the final few stages with doubles. So I'm going to go into line of fire here just to pick up some more swarmers because they're going to come in handy. Take these guys down. I didn't want to lose that life. I know that sounds stupid, but that's one that I didn't want to lose. But yeah, Snatcher was another game that was really cool. Dammit, have I played Red Dead Redemption 2 yet? To be honest, I really enjoy westerns, but for whatever reason, I could never get into the Red Dead games. So I'm just going to hope one of these stupidly will come into the crossfire, but that's not going to happen. Ooh. There we go. Oh, okay. I thought I had them both then. So I really need that health, but is there anything else for me to kill? I think I can just make a dash to the finish line, to be honest. Yeah, there we go, made it. Do I think Metal Gear would have been possible on the N64? Definitely not. I think it was way too big for the N64. But at the same time, I think one of the cool things, we did get a few, I suppose, exclusives, like Hybrid Heaven, which I know it's not as good as Metal Gear Solid, but at the same time, it was something specifically made for the N64, so yeah, it was cool to play. Okay, so now up to Area 51. This one's quite a tough level because we've got 3 Queenlords to rescue. So I'm just going to use the shelter of the base just for a minute just to clear some of the debris, because it makes things easier for the Goliath to defend the base when they've got a bigger field of view. But also it lets me do a good job of doing some farming for power-ups as well. So when's the new Ace Combat out? Because I know I've seen loads of people going nuts for it. Like, really, it seems to be, especially for sort of a flight sim game, there seems to be a lot of hype for the new Ace Combat, which is cool. You know, I like seeing different games get some appreciation. But is it out anytime soon? Is it Ace Combat 7? I think people hate Mega Man on the N64 just because it's not a fun game. It's I don't know, it's just not, I don't like it. So yeah, I'm probably in the camp of people that has very little interest in Mega Man at all. See, I always like using these lasers just because they just shred. I know it's a stupid thing to use them on, but... Mass destruction, there we go. So again, like previous levels, I'm just spending a bit of time before I start actually trying to get the queens, is just to clear some of the path. Okay, that's a big battering. There we go. Ah, now I can see why. It's because I wasn't looking at the map. So yeah, this is one of the zones. So yeah, those shields definitely help. Those shields really do help.
Fortress under attack.
Why don't they make shooters like Turok 2? I guess they kind of, in a way, they kind of do. But I guess they're just, you know, the more, I suppose, the more military based rather than. Yeah, I mean, in my opinion, I suppose a lot of them now are all military based. They're all sort of, you know, soldiers and futuristic style. Rather, I think back then, a lot of games they had to try and come up with like a concept. So, you know, Turok was based off the comic, but yeah, that was kind of, you know, what would happen if a Native American, you know, was up against, you know, sort of. Okay, so bear with me one moment. I need to get the hell out of it. I need to farm some more power-ups first. As you can see, this level's just swarming with enemies, like tons of them. So I've just used the stealth one there because what I needed to do was to quickly grab that health. So I'm going to take a life loss here. Okay, maybe I'm not. Okay. So I was expecting to take a life loss then, but I probably will now with this princess. So I need to try and get straight and get some health like ASAP. so I needed to get some cover right there. As well as some ammunition would help, because I need a bit more firepower. So I'm going to need to make a dash to try and get this one back into my base really quickly, because I can see there's an enemy coming as well. Okay, so that's one down. But the good thing is I've cleared the path already, so there's a lot that have already been sort of taken out. Could really do with some health right now. Ah, so that one's taken down. Oh, hello, cheeky. Where do you think you're going? There we go. Okay, so again, now it's time to make a mad dash to go back to my base. 007 World is not enough for GoldenEye. I would personally go for GoldenEye just purely on nostalgia, but I suppose technically Twine is more... I wouldn't say it's the better game, but it's more refined. That's one way of looking at it. Okay, so my Goliath is being blown up. Okay, so I'm getting pretty overrun here. I think pounded is the word. Seriously. I need a nuke or something just to take the place out. I can't really risk... Okay, I haven't really got much of a choice. I knew that was going to get me. Oh. So yeah, this is a bit like a capture the flag in a way, because now a lot of the terrain's gone. It's just grinding now. Yeah, this level goes a lot easier if you don't make mistakes like I have. So yeah, it can be easier. Oh, really? Not lost that level in ages. So let's try this one again. Have I heard about the new homebrew N64 release? I haven't. I keep up to date the biggest, or the one that I'm looking forward to the most would be the Ocarina of Time Banjo-Kazooie hack, the Jiggies of Time. That one looks really cool. Okay, I wasn't paying attention then. I really should focus. So I think I did a little bit too much destruction on the previous run through of this level. Ouch. Yeah, Resident Evil 2. So a lot of people have been asking. I'll probably live stream Resident Evil 2 on the launch day because I'll be able to play it. So all being well, if that's something people want to see, then I'll probably live stream it. The Xbox One version, because that's just easier for me to stream because it's already set up here. Would I consider my life non-stop on N64? To be honest, yeah, I don't really play many other games. I like playing. If I play a new game, I like to have it. To have some way, a bit of a connection to the N64. That's why I like the Forsaken remaster. That's why I like the Turok remasters. Why were they not exploding? They should have exploded well before then. Same as this guy. He was surrounded by barrels, they should have all blown up.
Queenlord rescued.
Brock 2, you can rotate your turret if you choose to, but I just personally, I've always found it a lot easier just to play with the standard default. Booyah.
Queenlord.
Yeah, so making much better progress on this one.
Fortress. Under attack.
So now we're going for the final princess or final woman queen to rescue. So let's go do this. So this one should be, I'm pretty powered up now, so this one should be fairly straightforward.
Fortress. Under attack. Power up.
Yeah, that was a UFO. Quick reflexes there, just about saved it.
Queenlord. Rescued.
So now just got to make the dash back. And with this much health, I should be okay. There we go. So that's a better way to do that level. So it gives me a chance to catch up on the chat. So why does Donkey Kong 64 have so much hate? Probably just for the fact it is a huge collectathon. There's just a ridiculous amount of collecting to do in the game. But it's still got good reviews. I mean, it's a huge game. If that's the type of experience that you want, then you know, it is what it is. But for many people, it's just a bit too much, I think. Okay, so this is another one where we've got to collect 3 princesses, 3 queens. This one's a tough level as well, so
Power up.
let's just stock up as always at the beginning.
Power up. Power up. Power up. Power up. Power up. Power up.
I mean, you can see how fortified this base is.
Power up.
That's kind of how... So I'm just going to clear this away just so that my Goliath has got a good field of view. It's got some good range.
Power up.
Night Night Brock. Thanks for tuning in as always. Okay, so that's first queen, as well as a whole host of power-ups. Yes, this is very much like a capture the flag level again. Okay, so I've got some gun buddies as well, so I'll show you these. These are pretty cool. So these you can deploy, and they're a bit like turrets. They hang around, but they're really good, especially on levels like this where you're going to have your base under a lot of attack.
Queenlord rescued.
So I'm taking the dangerous route back, but this is why sometimes it's useful to clear the route before, because you don't want to be in a position like I am now where you're having to make a mad dash. That should be okay though, this one's now back at my base as well, so... So now just one more queen to go, so if I can do a mad dash with this one, I'm pretty low on health and power-ups though, which is going to be the problem with this one. But that may have just helped. So my Goliath is currently under attack, so I need to be quick, otherwise one of the Queen is going to be picked up. So if I can do this quickly and again make a mad dash just using my swarmers, then I should be able to just about do this. So yep, you can see if this guy gets out of my way. There we go, perfect, first time. That was a nice little run, that one, that was okay. Video games for fun. This reminds you of the tank mode in Conquer. Yeah, you know what, it's kind of got that vibes to it. Yeah, I think a lot of people are obviously sad when Rare were bought by Microsoft, but at the end of the day, you've got to remember Nintendo had the buyout option and they chose not to exercise it. So I'm not being funny, that's probably one of the dumbest mistakes Nintendo ever made, because especially when you look at the N64 era, so many of the best-selling games that were on the system that, you know, if you try and imagine the N64 without Rare games, the library's weak thin. So weak. Oh, he's there. Okay. Yeah, exactly. Nintendo didn't want Rare. They had the option. They didn't use it. So, if Microsoft wanted to pay a crazy amount of money for them, yeah, it is a shame that, you know, what they've become now. I mean, for years they were just doing the crappy Kinect games for Microsoft, which, you know, it was a waste of their talent. So. Ah, tank damaged. There we go. Nice little bonus there. So we're almost coming up to the final few levels. Some of these, again, get tricky. And I've got a decent enough size army to help me in the next few levels as well, which is always a big help. Do you ever get that where you seem to get no emails, you have like a nice peaceful day, and then all of a sudden you get like 15 emails through in the space of like an hour, and it's all from different companies trying to sell you stuff, like Amazon, Argos, so many different places. Stephen C, you've never made it this far in BattleTanx. I'm kicking butt. Yeah, I'm doing okay. I think I probably should be able to get to the completion screen on this one, so yeah, it looks like we might be going for a 100% playthrough. So let's go take out the Dark Angels. So yeah, this is another one of the bridge levels. So as always, you want to get the radar ASAP, so you want to find that, which on this one I don't know where it is, but it won't take me long. Where do you think you're going? There we go. Okay, so we're getting lots of shields and stuff, but still haven't got the radar, which I can't remember exactly, but we should be okay. We should be okay. I didn't mean to use the invisibility cloak there. I would have much preferred to have saved that for a later level, but oh well, we'll make best use of it. Just to open a path up, let's see what's ahead. Because as well, I think especially on these bridge levels as well, one of the tactics that I often use is just clearing the way as you go. Because sometimes you may need to make a little bit of a quick retreat just to regroup, so if you can clear a bit of a path, it just can buy you and save you losing lives. But to be honest, we've got 17 lives. It should be more than enough to complete the game now. Ooh, if I hadn't gone on those mines though. Yeah, I can't see Microsoft ever selling off any of their IPs. It's kind of pointless. They don't need the money. They'd rather just keep them for the future. Again, just taking this one a little bit cautious because it's quite a long level, this one. I could have sworn there was two there. Maybe it's really tucked away. Okay, so yeah, now we've got the radar. That really helps. There we go, so let's get that cleared out of the way. A couple of gun buddies as well, they always come in useful. Especially the lasers. I like the lasers as well. Just because they're like one-hit kill, yeah. So you want to use them sparingly, especially because there are some bigger tanks up ahead, but... Yeah, so that's the thing. I mean, the music is good what's there, but when you have to hear like quite a short sample that's on loop quite a bit, it can become a bit of a nightmare. Ah, got me. So yeah, so when you get killed, you lose like everything. So it makes it a bit of a pain, because especially as well, you go right the way back to the start of the bridge. So sometimes there'll be some respawns and stuff, so you just got to watch out for those. You can see now, yeah, the amount of damage that these enemies are inflicting is gone up quite a bit compared to where it was anyway. Dictator Dario, thanks for tuning in. Enjoy your day at work as much as it can be enjoyed anyway. Do I have any grenades to blow these up? No. So that's probably a bit of a no-go. I've beaten this game before, but yeah, for this playthrough, I'm yet to beat it. Booyah! There we go. So this one of the things, the gun buddies are not really needed on this level. They're not really a whole lot of use. But you'll notice as well, you start getting less and less health-based pickups, which is a pain because. Could really do with some health in some of these levels, like this one. And also, like points like this, you really need some grenades. But so sometimes you just got to think, well, you're gonna have to take a punt and just hope for the best. But you know you're gonna pick up some damage. Like that. So yeah, you know you're gonna have to just take a hit. Has anyone got a press release from the Conker's Bad Fur Day? It'd be cool to see. I know that some people got those really cool press kits. If I remember correctly, I think Finn Gamer, who's got a complete N64 collection, that's a complete worldwide collection. He doesn't upload pretty much anything these days, but in fact, I don't think he's uploaded in years now. But when he used to do uploads, I'm sure I remembered him showing off his copy. So maybe check out Finn Gamer's channel. Naturally, like the name suggests, he's in Finland. Whew. Taking a pounding on this level. But yeah, as I said, you notice now there's no sort of real health pickups kicking around anymore. Yeah, Wise Dragon, I'm glad you know Finn Gamer. But yeah, that's what I mean. I always used to enjoy his stuff, but then he just... I know he's got kids and stuff, so I know when people have children, it often makes things a lot more difficult for them to sort of upgrade, to upload, sorry, as much as they used to. Yeah, I always enjoyed his channel. I think as well, especially back then, because he wasn't like a sort of a shouty YouTuber, he was just a very calm, you know, casual kind of guy. I always enjoyed it, especially back then when it seemed like everyone was just trying to be the next AVGN. That was close. But now I just really need some health. Ah, there we go, got me. Still got 14 lives though, so this one's just going to be a bit of a grind, I think, just to keep going to the end. Yeah, his complete in-box collection is insane. But the thing is, he kind of got lucky, because if I remember from one of his videos when he talked about how he built up the collection so quickly, he started to get a complete in-box collection like probably a year after the N64 finished. So when he was buying titles, they were like, you know, you could get a complete in-box copy for like £10 or, you know, $10 for, you know, certain games. But like he was there at the time when, you know, there was no real interest in it, so he had good timing, to be honest. That's what I needed. Finally, some health pickups. But to be honest, apart from that, this Goliath is going to be damn hard to take down because I've got like no firepower. I wasn't quick enough there to use my health, but either way, I probably need something a bit more beasty, ammunition-wise, to take that Goliath down. I mean, I can probably just do it with the standard shots from this, but ideally, yeah, it would be pretty cool to grab something with a bit more firepower. Kaito Link, enjoy your shower. Thanks for tuning in. Enjoy the rest of your day. Okay, so the same with this one as well. You can see I'm kind of in a sticky position because Yeah, I had, you know, with no firepower. You can switch to the other tanks in Global Assault. That's the one where you've got like the really high speed ones. You've got like the one that's slow with more armor. This one's pretty much just like a grind through with Griffin, who's the main character's weapon, which is the tank. Yeah, this level we're just pushing to the last part, so this level's done. Oh, okay, I didn't see that one before. That comes in handy just to give me more ammo, but to be honest I don't really think I'm going to need it. I'm pretty much done with this level. Oh, okay, so we both blew up at the same time. Have I played Donald Trump 64? No, I got sent the link to it. I've been meaning to get around to playing it, but it just looks completely insane. It does look really funny though, which is Keck 64. So yeah, Donald Trump 64 or Keck 64, I think is the official name for it. So let me just try and figure out if there's any way I can get through this reasonably without losing a ton of life. Yeah, see, this is always a bit of a pain. Because yeah, they row up a line, and there's not really any sort of ammo around now, so. Yeah, so this is like one of those moments where I think you just got to keep grinding your lives. In fact, let me check around here, because if I remember correctly, yeah, I died there, but I don't think I went all the way around. Oh, okay, so that's going to help. So yeah, if I can use these swarmers now, that'll probably be all that I need to take out these final row of guys. Oh, okay, now everything starts spawning. Shields a lot, okay. So... clearing the route ahead. There we go, made it across the bridge. Yeah, you'd be surprised I get, I think maybe about 10 or 20% of my channel views come from Australia, so. So this is another rescue mission. So again, we need 3 Queenlords. But what I really need is some firepower. There we go. Oop, didn't mean to do that.
Power up.
So let me just drop, oh cool, some gun buddies, okay.
Power up.
So I know I've already taken down some of the other base, but this one, in my opinion, this one's always the one which is the hardest to get, so I'm going to try and get this one out of the way first. Because this one's got some really, really tough enemies.
Power up.
Well, I've still got enough, so it should be okay. Would I fall into a crisis when I've reviewed everything N64 related? Not really. I'd just carry on doing my thing. A lot of people ask that, it's going to be years away anyway, so...
Queenlord rescued. Power up.
Ah, tank that. At least it's just outside though. Yeah, those character models for the women are like so 90s it hurts. I think this is a level that you really need a nuke on, like, really badly. Because yeah, this is a tough level. Just because the enemy firepower, these are really, really tough. To be fair, you don't need a third-party keyboard and mouse because there's already a first-party one for the N64, so there is the official N64 keyboard and mouse, but the problem is there's no games that support it, sort of natively anyway. I mean, yeah, you've got things like Mario Artist or whatever on the 64DD, but nothing that's going to, you know, be a good alternative for people.
Queenlord rescued.
So that's the first queen down, because the other one that we caught, she was kidnapped again from our base, so they recaptured her. Okay, so that was the aim of that one. So even though I knew I was going to get killed, I just wanted to make sure I got that Goliath so I could have quite a quick run just to go back. But I say quick run because all of these guys are just taking up way too much of my firepower.
Queenlord rescued.
Okay, so because the last one was the one which I picked up first. Okay, so my base is quite weak, but I've just got that one to do, and I've already cleared the way. So this one should be quite an easy one to go and grab quick because it shouldn't be that fortified. But we'll see. So let's just go back along. So this goes back to what I was saying before. This one's probably the hardest on this level to grab, but because I've cleared everything out of the way, this shouldn't be that difficult now. Yeah, there we go.
Queenlord rescued.
There we go, perfect. Yep, saved him. So yeah, that should be level complete for that one. Have I ever built a 1 in 100 US Navy ship model? No. If you mean like those little kits that you build, I used to have some of those when I was a kid. I used to really like doing the cars. I found it really relaxing. So yeah, that was something I used to enjoy. I've not done one of those for years though. Ah, got me. Have I ever used the V3 race wheel for any reviews? I haven't. I used to have the V3 race wheel way back in the day. I used to play V-Rally with it a lot. Stephen C, thank you for tuning in. It's a shame you're just going to miss the end, but if you do want to catch up this stream, I will put as a watchable, whatever it is. Jason Coughlin, thanks for tuning in from Texas, of all places. So let's get a load of deals. So if we want some gun buddies, let me fortify this quite heavily. Okay, so let's roll.
Power up.
So straight away I want to get that radar. So this is the last level in the game. So this is one of the highway style levels. So this one plays out a little bit differently because this one's you need to rescue your girlfriend or your fiance, whatever she is, and then you've got to be able to bring her back to your base. So this one plays out a little bit differently than some of the other ones, but
Power up.
it's like a combination really. So the first thing you want to do is try and stock up, as always, because you're going to need some firepower on this one. Oh, and obviously not hit your own people. So, yeah, Paper Mario's on my to-do list. In fact, I may even just do that as a stream, I'll see. Because that's one of the problems is when you come to do a review for an RPG, they just take so long. Because you've obviously got to play to a certain point in the game. So I'm just going to let this body of mine take a bit of heat. There we go. So that's one of the things. If you let your teammates go ahead of you, then they do draw all of the fire. So it just gives you the opportunity to sneak in quickly. But in some cases, the AI is not great for them. There we go, that's what I wanted.
Power up. Power up. Power up.
There we go, so we got a nuke.
Power up. Power up. Power up. Power up.
Yeah, Paper Mario and Majora's Mask, they're kind of self-explanatory titles. You know they're going to be good. They're games that I like. It's hard. I think they're hard games not to like, to be honest. Okay, so what happened there was whilst I was in the
Power up.
follow camera for the homing missile, I got killed, so that's where we're at. So we're kind of, I wouldn't say we're back to square one, but we're still just working our way up to the end zone.
Power up. Power up. Power up.
There you go. I don't really like the grenades, so you'll probably noticed already I generally just tend to blow those away. Okay.
Power up. Power up. Power up. Power up.
So any opportunity you got just to grab some cover and just take stock of what's around you is always going to help on this level. Especially because some of the enemies are really overpowered, like that one there. You could see how many shots that took. And especially if you haven't got a weapon like a laser, that can just go boom and just pretty much kill things in one hit, then you just got to be careful of what you've got. So I could really do with some health more than anything, but it doesn't look like I'm going to get any relatively quickly, so unless there's some in here which would be a lifesaver. No. Yeah, we kind of knew that one was coming, but at least we're slowly sort of edging our way up, and we've still got 13 lives, which is more than enough to be able to get this wrapped up. Ryan Engsler, is Pepsi even a thing in Europe? Yeah, I prefer Pepsi to Coke. I know everyone's different, but that's just me. But then again, I only drink diet drinks anyway, so I just prefer the taste of Pepsi over, well, Pepsi Max or Diet Pepsi over Diet Coke. So.
Power up.
Oh wow, I didn't see that one right behind it. Did I leave any ammo here? No, so I didn't leave anything here that I can just pick up before, so. Yeah, a lot of people do sort of link this Daniel Posey between the GoldenEye tank level, which I always enjoyed. I know a lot of people always hate on that level, but I always thought it was fun enough. It was just a change in pace, something a little bit different. Yes, the Swarmers is really what I was waiting for, because they're one of my favourite weapons.
Power up.
Ah. So I'm probably going to need these shields, but I really want to avoid taking any more damage. There we go. Can I give you a preview of an upcoming review? Probably not, because I've not started work on it. So the video I'll be putting out tomorrow, I haven't started work on yet. So I've got a big long list of ideas, so, you know, I'll see. Got him. Yeah, Nintendo does seem to really like hands in games. I don't know, maybe it's Miyamoto having flashbacks to his childhood or something. I've got a private dentist as well, so... But I also get airflow. It's like a type of... Well, it's like a type of scale and polish, but airflow's... It's like they spray like this powder. It's like at high speed, and it's... I don't know, it's like a... So I don't get like whitening done. I just brush my teeth with an electric toothbrush, but if you get airflow, which I'm pretty sure you can get in the States as well. In fact, I even think it's an American company. But I get that done every 6 months just to, you know, keep on top, so... Wow, so you can see here, this is like the final base now. So you can see it's quite heavily protected. So we're going to see, the downside is I'm a little bit low on supply, so I'm just going to see if I can pick up anything along the way. That's just going to help a little bit. But again, we've still got 10 lives left, so you know, taking down all those guys is not going to be a problem. It's just a matter of when. So let me just have a quick check around here, just in case I missed anything. So not by the looks of it. Teeth game is strong. To be fair though, most people, I guess it depends on your circumstances, because private dentists are really, I don't think, too expensive. I mean, yeah, we've got the NHS. If you want to go get an NHS appointment, then yeah. But where I live, because a lot of the dentists, they just don't want to take on NHS patients, so everyone just goes private, but they only charge a little bit more. So it's not really like, you know, you're not getting your money's worth from the NHS, but. Yeah, that big tank's got a whole lot of mobility considering how big and heavy it is. Oh, hello. Where have you come from? Yeah, if only he was giving me some ammo. I'm actually seeing if there is a way that I can get to that. Let's give it a try.
Power up.
Because to be fair, guided missiles are exactly the kind of weapon. Oh, they're the kind of weapon that I need. So let's give those a try. Ah. Extreme parking, no, I haven't played that. Then again, I guess there's games for everything these days, like Goat Simulator and stuff, so bit of a mix. Carlos Suarez, Glenn, your grandfather went to World War II. Probably. As did most people. Okay, so we got rid of the Goliath. So the Goliath is the big one down, so I've just got those laser guys, which, to be fair, they dish out a lot of power, but I should be able to take some long distance pot shots and just pick those off. I'm actually starting to think that the thumbstick on this controller is going out, because if you look at it, this is me pushing it straight forward. It's sometimes just starting to, sometimes just starting to slide. So I might have to do an upgrade on this one, or just do a stick replacement as another option. So that's probably the most anticlimactic moment in any video game. That was pretty much, that was it. Yeah, so that was, well, you'll see now, like, that was the, I suppose you want to call it the final boss or the final stage, which it had its challenge, but it wasn't exactly, you know, impossible, especially when you consider it's probably a good four years since I last played it.
Power up.
Winner. So you're a winner because you rescued your fiance. So this is like the game's ending, so if anyone that doesn't want a spoiler, you can probably quickly switch off or don't look at the screen. Yeah, and then the credits roll. I always thought this has a really sort of Terminator 1 vibe to it, this sort of post-apocalyptic scene. It's pretty cool. Yeah, you know what his reward is. Definitely. Achievement unlocked, game complete, start to finish. So yeah, some of it had its challenges. You know, certain parts, I think there was, apart from the last sort of few levels, which, you know, like any game, this should naturally be quite difficult anyway, but yeah, apart from that, it's generally a straightforward game. You know, the concept of it's easy. It's a bit like an arcade game with enough sort of levels to keep it interesting. I don't know how long we've been streaming for, maybe a couple of hours. Yeah, 3 hours exactly. So yeah, normally I'd say about 2 hours if I'd be able to do that level if I was really sort of paying attention. But yeah, no, it was you know, fun enough to play. So yeah, definitely. So again, thanks to everybody for tuning in. I'm not too sure when I'll do another stream. I might do one in a couple of hours, play a different game, or I might just start work and crack on with the next video review that I'm going to do. But either way, thanks to everybody for tuning in. Enjoy the rest of your day. Some of you definitely need to get to bed because I know what time it is where you guys live in the world. So wherever you are, thanks again for tuning in. Enjoy the rest of your day, and I will see you soon. Thanks for tuning in.